Hello, hello, and welcome to another video. So I've been working on this thing to basically uh, working on decoding the file contents for the game, The Amazing Spider-Man, and what I've been doing is kind of stepping through the assembly. I'm not even in the right place. I had been doing some other things. Yeah, but if we go into here uh, and go into here, and this was kind of where we were. We can figure out where it was when we're about to read from BX. Yeah, roughly there. Yeah, so BX3. So that's what we were doing, and I was kind of like, where is this address? And so what I've done, so we're looking at like AA23. Keep that in mind. Maybe we'll uh, do that. No, that. Yeah. We can come up here, and so what I've done is I've done a bit of a recon with the old uh, G Hydra. I don't know if it's meant to be that or Gydra. But anyhow, I've pretty much gone through, and I already had this function. We can go back a couple more. I already had this function that I had gone through. I can't recall if I made a video with it, but I don't think that was the case. But I had this read file DX into BX and stuff, and you can see here that it kind of sets up these parameters and does that. And so what I did was basically go through all of those, and you can kind of see the calling points into that function, and then go through all of those, and then kind of work out. You have to kind of know two things. You have to know where DS is, and then where DX is. And so I kind of went through here, and these are the addresses of all the strings that kind of make up this, and these are kind of the expanded address. If you kind of take the segment and you shift it over by one, like 1 byte, basically give it a zero nibble in the end, and then you add on the second part, is what my understanding of things are. I just want to just make sure that is that. And so yeah, that didn't really match up to stuff in G Hydra, but that's right. What happens then is we also can see like the sizes and stuff, and I have a little script. If I come down here and maybe split it that way, and we can kind of see my gross script like that. So use the tool stat. You can give it a format with -C, and I'll just print out the size of it in bytes and the name of it and of all files in this directory, and then I'll read the size and the name into variables of each line, and then I'll print that in a hex format, and then in the string that, and then that way I can kind of grep for sizes that I haven't kind of got. I've mainly done this on size matching just because things don't really match up, but some of it you can kind of go from, well, I've seen one, I can now work out where the rest is. And how you would do that is you would do another search. This kind of broke my setup. I kind of want that, and yeah, that is what I want. Have to remember all the keys that I have. My start video script is like gone a bit haywire, and it sometimes steals my setup, which is not what I really want. But yeah, it's got like a couple of question marks that are kind of still to go, and they actually kind of line up with uh, two sets of files. There's the 2000, which has a bunch of CGAs and one EGA, but that's alright. And then this is a bunch of EGAs. And if we see here, say this line here, it's reading into this location, and down here there's also something reading into that location, which is 2000 versus 4000. So these are kind of just the same files bunched up. But it's kind of interesting because you've got this masks one as well, but you don't have the equivalent in EGA, and it doesn't seem to be reading it. But apart from that, you have 5 2000s and 3 4000s. So we got 1, 2, 3 4000s, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But one of them is already known. If I have a look, yeah, so this one is already known. Scenery EGA, and I got that from the 4036 is the same as this 4036. And like, if you're reading a file into the same place, it's probably that. And I could delve into it more and kind of see that there might be some if branches and what not, but what I kind of want to do is maybe come up here. We can get out of that and maybe try and find some of these other strings that we don't have. So like scenery.ega, we can have a search for that. Scenery, how do they spell it? The way that is spelled, I assume. But yeah, if we do this, what we can do is from here we can try and get some offsets. So here we had 1, 8, and what the difference between, so I don't know, we could open up Python for this. So we want 1, 8 minus 0xd, and that will get us the difference between those two things, and maybe we'll turn it back to hex. Well, actually, what we'll do is actually go is 0x 2f0 2f0a, and which direction do we want to go from here? We want to go backwards that, so minus that, and if we go hex of this, we should get 2EFF, and if we look, there's a 2EFF, and it's looking at blocks.cga, and so that was the one at D, and so we can kind of add that in. Blocks.cga, did I do that math right? Ah, no, that's in the wrong thing. So that's in 282 something. So that would be this D. So over here, this would be blocks.cga, and that would be that. And I've got the old keyboard back, but I feel like it's not good for vimming. I use the Workman layout. In fact, I could kind of show you what my keyboard looks like. So this is what it is, but we are actually in this layout, but it doesn't start up in this. So this is my layout, and when I do things, I can kind of do that, and you can see here I've got like home road mods and stuff. The control here is a funny story. This was to replace that because that key wasn't really working. In fact, like they're still kind of glowing. I forgot I turned on the sick color. These were sick, and then yeah, I did a bit of repair and seems good. So if we do that, different things to my other laptop. Setting up another laptop with Linux from scratch, and I'm using DWM, and the key bindings for that are slightly different to i3, but what I think I have actually decided is I potentially want to like just have my own bindings in maybe like the whatever it is, SK, something like that. I don't know, simple X keyboard, hot key daemon. So I guess maybe these two letters are replaced. That tool there, which maybe even has a man page. If I go into that, yeah, that was one of those simple X hotkey daemon. And that daemon, you could put all your like window manager key bindings in, and you could potentially have a script that works out which window manager you are in and does things based on that. And then you can try things out a little easier without like too much of a jarring effect. But you also kind of want to see what the other one has to offer. So it's kind of good to run with the default for a bit. To see what you like and what you don't like. And from there, kind of what you're going to change. But yeah. So I guess so that's all the things that are kind of in this one here, which was the 2C. No, there should be one like 00. Is it just blocks.ega? Does that kind of make sense? We read this to 031. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Blocks.ega and may wanna do that. Thanks. Right, and so that's probably everything from there. But what can we do? So I don't actually know which one's which in here, so that could be something to work out. But high score, I probably know. High score. And did I not push enter? So I want the EGA version, I guess. I don't know where it is for this. Right, so they are quite close to each other. But yeah, so if I'm looking at this and I want to go up to the 7E, so if we do this exercise again, so we have two numbers, so we know we are at 7, 8, and we can go to 5E. So this is going to be the difference between the two. And from here we can see where we're at in G Hydro, where things kind of ended up, and which one were we looking at? 7, 8, and that was highscore.ega. So if we're looking at this value here, and we want to like add on this difference, is that right? So high score is like higher up. So yeah, we want to subtract this from 2E94. Subtract, we can just subtract the thing and do a thing of that. And 2E7A should be this one. And so here we can make a few changes. is. So this is scale figure. And so that means this one down here is likely the same thing because it reads to 1890 and 1890. And like, why would you have it different? And does that do it? No, but that might. No, I kind of want that. No, not that. That and a skid figure. Oh no, spid figure. Spid figure, and that would be down here, there. And so we can probably scroll back some more and we get mass. So that's only a little way back from 44. So maybe that's 39. So this is probably mass 1 and 2, I guess. This kind of seems weird. Yeah, I think that seems right. And then 44 will be EGA will be the top one. So the next address down, this 39. Yeah, so we'll do this. These two masks. That kind of makes sense because they only exist in. So this is the higher one. So CGA. Do the same, but this is the lower one, and then we go to 23. So this would get us to the spids, and this. Oh, can we do this now? We can't. Spids. 2.cga, and we can maybe do that trick again. And do that, and do that. And so that likely means that, so if I search for spids, the EGA version is the very first thing. So I don't know, it's just how the cookie crumbles. So maybe I can do something like spids 1.ega, and where is my delete? I'm not sure I recall, but I could potentially do a key map. You go off your keyboard for a little and then you forget where you're. So my backspace is there, but do I have a delete? Yeah, down there. What an awkward place. And that's just on the home row. Right, so let's get into work mode. Yeah, that looks right. That wasn't the key I wanted. Wonder if this shows up. I just locked myself out because I have different keys to the other one. That's alright. Anyway, so these are all the files. I'm fairly certain of where they're getting kind of written to and their sizes, and they all kind of match up with this. And these bottom ones down here are read by a different function that reads a video file, and it kind of just it reads either the CJ or the EGA depending on a bit, whereas the rest kind of do other things, other ways. So what I wanted to do was actually see where this AA23 is. So unfortunately they're not kind of sorted in this order, what I could do is perhaps do this. So FB9, these FB1s, we can yoink you guys up to there, and that's roughly in order, but like this isn't kind of the order that it kind of undo lots and do this and do that. Right, so that reads there and that reads there. Right, and maybe have a little gap just to say it's a different thing. Maybe these two sixes can go down here, and golly, what order do we want everything in? Perhaps the things just need to be kind of next to each other. So like we almost need to do something like that, except we've got do that. Right, so that kind of gets things in a rough-ish order, but like we do have like a weird 5, but then these two can get you. In fact, all of you can get yoinked up to there, and then here we kind of continue on, and here we're in a separate little zone, and here we are doing basically the same that, and we can do the CGA first. I don't know, that's kind of what the other one was doing. Right, so how exciting. And this file was also kind of read twice. I kind of want to see where that was read. So maybe if I search for a hex value now, and I can search for 1D21, and if we search for that, there should be kind of one thing, and I say it's charset.ega there. So the CGA is kind of read, but it is read by adding D to this. So if we add what D is A, B, C, D, 4 in, so it's 13. So if we add that to that, and maybe I do want all the CGAs after for that reason. I don't know. I guess it kind of looks maybe more sensible that way. It's hard to know. So this kind of loads up two things, but it loads it to the same address, and the size is the same on both ones. So we get, oh no, we have slightly smaller one. So the EGA is actually 1.0, and so that was an extra 2 in this, so I guess there will be a C there, and so that would be extra 2 here, and so there'll be an 8 there. Just want to check that dinging, that's alright. So back to the real thing that I wanted to do is AA23. Where does that end up? And I kind of want in this space here, which I see it's not really, because in the function that we were in, yeah, this one here, no. Well, yeah, it is actually kind of that one, but I kind of want to see where ds is before we call this function, because everything is kind of relying on this being ds. Now it's kind of interesting. Because yeah, I don't believe we set anything in here. And here I don't believe we do either as well, but like maybe we do. We just set, so it's kind of the same point that we're reading from there. So the bx to, gosh, when did we do that? BO something N7. So I just not put it in because, no, there it is. So the BX2. So this is where we're kind of looking at mover tab, and it's looking at this 0155. And if we look up here, we have mover tab, and it is in that kind of range there. So yeah, I wonder if there's like another file that I'm for some reason missing. I guess I can do a quick little look here. See here. So I kind of want to get everything here, and maybe grep minus v original. So I don't want to have that sort of stuff, and I also don't want to have exe. And maybe just as a test, I will cut minus d, that full stop, get the second thing, and then sort unique. So we have a dat cj, a thing, and a dat. Cool. So of these, we can get these files here. How many do we have? We have 33. So how many things do we have here? So here we have, 27 down gets us, pardon me, 27 down gets us to there. 28, 29, 30. So there will be 30, but we're not including that, and that. So we're not including 4 out of that 30. So that would make 27. But these 5 exist in both EGA and CGA. So I kind of want 5 more from that 27, and that makes not 33, right? So am I missing something? Right, so how do we go about doing this? Spids. So we have 4 spids. We do have 4 spids. We have a spid figure. We've got 2 of those. Skill figure, we do have two of those. Scenery, we've got two of those. The rooms.sipple, yep, and then page 1 to 4, we've got multiple of them, but we were kind of including that. Mover tab, we've got one of that. Masks, do we not have? No, we did have them there. And then load screen, that's kind of included there. High score there, and then char set there, and blocks there, and backs. Huh. So it's 31 to there. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we had 6. So yeah, 31 to there, 37, but we had 36, 5, 4, 3. So we do have 33. Same number of files. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that we don't have the address range in here. And we're adding like a magic value, 89F3. It seems like it should exist, but it just doesn't. And when we did a search for this, we couldn't find it. The other thing I could do is work out what the address should be. I mean, I didn't finish doing this, so I was I started like setting the ES and DS and kind of going through the code and seeing like way from the start, just to see where everything kind of loaded up and stuff, but like everything kind of gets reset back to this FB9, which has the same thing as rooms. So yeah, like everything kind of seems to be in this range here, but so it could be in a different segment, but you can kind of access it maybe. So we have what the address 0x AA 23, and we're in what I believe is in the FB9 segment, so we add 0 to that. So we get a hex value here, so we can get a hex here, and perhaps we can see if this matches any other ranges. Like this doesn't quite match. Oh, I know, it feels like this almost gets there. I wonder if it's like an existing value that we could see what it is. So we could search for the string rooms.spill, and we have this here. Right, so at this address, we have that. And so perhaps we can figure out where we should be based on that. So 0xAA23 is the address that we want to read. If we subtract off 0x and rooms.split thinks it's this in the code, so 1D44. So this will get us the difference, and that's in decimal, but that's alright. And so this should be further down than rooms.split. So maybe if we get 172 and add on what we have at the moment, and then if we get the hex of that, we get AE51. So maybe if we go here and go to AE51, and do we have to say 100 in that? We get perhaps this byte. I don't know. It's a 1. Like, is this but that's when it's trying to read that, but that's based on a different code segment. No, it's not. Line 2BE. So is that suggesting that's there? And does that kind of make we were here or something? Yeah. Like, are these useful for what I want? What I can do is just make some notes. Perhaps it is 0x8e551 in G Hydra. And why was it that I decided that? That was because at 1D44 you can go away, and if we go to I just want at 1D44 that was is that just trying to no, that's because this is actually because the location of rooms.sbo is like way before this. Based on this. Yeah, cool. I can write that. Based on the location of rooms.sbl is a string is 1000172, and there should be fb 1d44, fb 9 1b44. Was it 1b44? 1d44. Go here. So what would all of that equal then? So this was also an array of 3. So does that kind of make sense that this would be the third entrance, and this is kind of getting ridden to in a place. Where it reckons it's 92BE. That doesn't make sense. But I guess if that's 92BE, then is there some other thing? I don't know. I thought I made a breakthrough. Well, I have kind of made progress. Like, I now know where everything's read, except I kind of don't. So I could kind of take a guess at what file it is trying to read, maybe. Like, what would be an interesting file to read? Out of all of these, I guess, like, well, it only says one's like color swatch file, but I would imagine all the CGA stuff, like just CGA. Here, have this, based on other things I've seen, like when it does the, well, only like some things. I don't know. Like maybe like the load screen and the win screen is like, here, have some data, but perhaps other things are not, like the SPIDs perhaps are not. Hard to know. Because all of these are all of the same size. Or at least that's the size that always gets written. Whereas other things differ in size quite drastically. Right, so, and like we're already reading movietab.dad, so like maybe this chart set is maybe interesting, and maybe I got it wrong where it was reading it. So what does a char set kind of look like? Maybe let's do this. Can we do that, but like, trying to make it colorful, but but if it was a file, then like whereabouts in the file would it be kind of pointing? I don't know. Perhaps I should just kind of go on with the thought like it could be anything, just a random bit of data. I kind of want to see, so I could, what was that? That was like, that was just like credits and whatnot. I could perhaps this number is actually like offset weirdly. Sometimes it like showed me where things were when it like read from far away things. Like here. That's when it knows what my perhaps I can work some stuff out based on that though. I kind of want a point where I know what it is, know what my ES and DX are. Hasn't been able to work that out. Yeah, so like it hasn't. It's not super good at doing things. Can I make like an assertion as to what? Yeah, like I can set register values at this point. Maybe this is what I want to do, and so I can find my DS. Is that what I want? And the value I want is FB9. Is that what I do? And then it does that, but do I need to also do it for ES? ES? Ah, my god, this search is terrible. I thought it would take me to the E's, then I gotta scroll for it. Right, so this can also be FB9. Right, so when we make those two assumptions, it still doesn't really change this. Oh, goodness gracious. The other thing I could do is look at one of these, the memory map, see where it is trying to read things and see if any of this kind of makes sense. Because we want to. Oh, we dumped the whole file. 8051. Is that where we had tried to go? 8051. Yeah, and that just sent us to the middle of nowhere. But this only goes like a bit more than that. what am I trying to think? Don't do that. Just do something like that. This was at 172, but it reckons it's actually at 1DD, like a bunch more. Or like, what is that address? Actually, that is like, it'll be 0x100. It will add an extra 0, and then it will add 172. It will be that value shortly. So 10172, and like, none of those are, but like, can I make a 118d4 minus 10172, and what's that hex? That's the difference between the two. So now if we get FB90 plus 0x and whatever the address we're searching for, AA23. So if we get, that should get us the address that we think it should be in kind of this RAM space. But that was off by a bunch of stuff. So to get the right value, we want to subtract this thing. So that minus that should equal that. If we swap that and swap that, yeah. So if we subtract this, do that and subtract 5986 and get the hex of that. So that's where it reckons it should be looking, and that is kind of where we kind of sent it, right? Because that is 0x1000 plus 0x8E51 exception hex, and that's kind of just sending to that same address. So I don't know if that thought experiment was worth that. Bit conundruming. I kind of want to get to a point where I care. It would just be useful to know what we're trying to read at this point. I just had a thought. We don't want that. We want something like this, and like add hex 86. And this, does this do it? It kind of just does it both, doesn't it? Yeah, so both signed and unsigned. And we just get an address. So I was thinking, because it's negative, it would mean a different thing. Which maybe it does. No, surely not, because then you could have negative addresses. Full stop. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Still stuck at that same kind of point. I was trying to read from there. And this is kind of describing the R2D2 guy. Is this right? Because we still have kind of these 2 bytes, and based on those 2 bytes, that was describing basically the point where R2D2 was. And here it's doing like a mask, and using that as an offset into some other address. But that's like a weird base. It's a weird base because like it could be the video memory. But that's really slow to read, and I'm not sure at this stage we've actually read it. And it could be glitched out. Who knows? It's like kind of weird to trust the video memory. But yeah, we read a few things out of BX, including an address. So we read from BX an address to then read from again. That describes a like table. So perhaps this is a just table somewhere in memory that at the base of it has a pointer that does that, and this is calling the same function. No, this is then doing a bunch of that, and then it reads from BX a bunch until we hit a point. Like a stop bit. So I guess this kind of describes that we have something in memory that ends with 80, but like surely a search for hex of 80, yeah, that's like just too many. 500's too many to look for. Because it doesn't really tell me what's happened beforehand. Though, at the moment BX, no, we've read BX, now we've kind of gone on and incremented it. And then we test this against that. So it seems like it is reading a file. Maybe what I can do is so in this spider thing, that was me trying to get the thing. Yeah, that should be what it looks like. So in these files, how do we get it? Can we get XXD to like say the file name? No, I'm not sure we can. A file in get them all, and then we want to like echo dollar file, sure, and we also want to do XXD dollar file and something like done. And instead of that, I kind of want to pipe it all into something like that, and we didn't get a do. So this should give some things. So I'm looking for points where it's we're either going to have space 80 or so we can do something like that, but maybe like that. So we're going to have space 80 or 80 space and do something like that. And so now it should get both of those types, and so we can see that there are a few, and I kind of want to get that and then search up for yeah, like that many, and so we'll search down for that. Search down for that. Go up a line and then delete back to this one. Is that? Yeah. All right. So I kind of want to. I want to find this, so we can start a macro. I want to find this one, and then I want to, from here, search for that, and then go up a line, and then back, and then, well, perhaps even just from there, and then I want to delete back to there. And perhaps then I also want to delete forward till then, except no, I kind of want to yeah, this is what I want to do. Except like more automated. I kind of just want to see which files have an 80 in them. So maybe I can do something like this, and then grep minus E maybe, and then we can do space 80 or 80 space, and that's alright, then we can do it done. Cool, so that's doing that, and I kind of want to go back and like maybe go to there and only get the very first one of those, and so that way we can see which files have that. Basically, which things have an 8 at least, which it kind of looks like most things do. A few things don't, like mover tab doesn't, so can tell that it's probably not reading from mover tab. I wonder if it's backs. No, backs we kind of have already kind of looked at. And rooms I've kind of gone through and decoded. I wonder if this is where rest has been put, and I wonder how I can find out. So in this, SI is kind of And I don't know. Assembly is hard. Assembly is hard indeed. Because from what I understand, it did some things. Yeah, I mean, this one is kind of gross, but it did like all of this kind of decoding fun. This is just the stuff that I already have, and I'm fairly confident that we're not reading from the room. But yeah, it's interesting because this is going to be ages away from where the SI kind of ends up. So we add on 2e6. It really just doesn't make a dent into this sort of thing. Oh, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. So we get through. So in this, not that one, this one, except maybe that way. And so in this, did we have anything that kind of overlapped this in any of these ranges? Does this just blatantly skip it? Feels like this blatantly skips the thing I'm looking for, but that's alright. Like definitely in this kind of area that's just in quite a different realm. Yeah, I don't know. I think I made a bit of progress. I filled out all of these and I showed you a bit of the working progress that kind of the structure how I do it. I'm just at a bit of a loss as to work out like where it is reading from here. So it reads like a bunch of stuff, but then it just adds a bunch to so this is all set off. Is this what I want? Oh, is that just a different point? A9E3. No, did we do that another point? We also didn't know what was there. I guess we can figure that one out. That also looks like a really high address. So AB 36 and 37. So that yeah, that's just in the same kind of ballpark. And in fact, it is just a bit higher than this, so it's kind of interesting. In the A93, it's like a little bit different from this one. Anyhow, this just it equals something random. Does that make sense? This should be surely 3 more than that. Which would make it a little different in this calculation. It would be 4 than that, which would be at that point, which could make sense with this being the third element. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So if I continue on with this theory, annoyingly, I kind of want to be at this point. So 3 is kind of the max that we get, but at this point here, I'm kind of expecting a pointer. So this would be at this kind of address here, which, like, potentially that's a pointer. I don't know. It's in a different realm of things. So that would be 4401. So it wouldn't probably be in this range, 4401. Probably have to do that kind of stuff I was doing, because like this is kind of in the middle of codes. So the thing I was thinking was if it's in that kind of address. So I think it was that all minus 5986. That's kind of the offset. Is that what it was kind of telling me? So that's for that address there. But if we were saying it was 4401 instead of that, then it would be this instead, and that's an odd address. So if we take that and so if we get the 0x1282e and we subtract off 0x1000 and get the hex of that, and then we get 282e, and so if we go here and look at 2e and have a look at that, it's in data space maybe again, but here it's just got kind of double zeros. So if it is there, we wouldn't be able to do much with it. So would have just a 0 at that point. That's alright. Then we would increment it. It would be actually yes, we wanted to go until we hit like an 80. So if we went down here, there is an 80. So like maybe it's doing that. That's like real cursed if it is. And I'll just put it up to that point, and there is another 80 there. So perhaps this is like kind of a structure that I'm looking at. So if this is the case, I was thinking it was this. So if we were going to get that, yeah. So from this address. Yeah, so from here we would get the 47 because that is something 26, which, well, we'd want the 3, which is not there. It's 1, 2, 3, so this would be a 47. Oh no, 47. If we want to see what this other one was though, where did I say, don't know what's here, don't know what's here. So this is AB36. So if we get this equation, 0x AB36, and if we wrap this whole thing in hex, we get that. So I think I kind of want to rearrange things. So we're going to have that, and it's going to be minus a whole lot of stuff, kind of added up like that. And I kind of want to put this AB36 after this, which is possible, minus 0x AB36, and I guess need another thing like that, and then we'll give us that. And so if I look at this, does this kind of look like some data? No, it's put us, so that's like outside the memory map of loaded memory. Does that kind of make sense? I'm not sure this makes sense if we try and get the AA26. Does that doesn't get what we wanted before, the this one, and so that's just that plus that minus 5986. I've got 5987 for some reason. I've got a that should be a plus. Should it be? How did I get the this one? That plus that, and then all of that minus that. Minus 5986 it was before, so maybe I want to do that. And perhaps this could just be like that for now. I think I just want this. If we we want to subtract minus, so what I might do is maybe go to this one, and we'll do a minus that, and do a plus there, and then that should get us that address that we wanted. But I want to see whether this one that we don't know what's here, AB36, 0x AB36, and that gets 8F. So 8453, it's one of those, and 8F63. It depends on the difference, which the difference I got before was 5986. So I think it is that. And this does kind of point us to a thing. Which could be right, points to an FF. I don't know. Don't know what's here. There. So we get like 2 bytes from that. So we get that, and it's kind of subtracted off 10. That's like a -1, if you ask me. And this is not as much of a -1, if you ask me. Yeah, I don't know what these 2 bytes are kind of looking at, but potentially it is what I have said here. But I think for now I'm running in circles, and that usually means it's a good time to have a little break and maybe do a little thing different. So I'll end the video here, and thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you thought, and look forward to making something new for you soon. See ya.